Welcome everyone to the Pellowah Healing webinar, and thank you for joining tonight. So what we're going to cover tonight is talking about the benefits of Pellowah Healing and what it can do for you on your spiritual path, your personal path, and you're in the right place, especially if you choose to connect with your higher self, and if you've been struggling with any areas in your life, especially with emotional pain, physical pain, or suffering from any trauma from your past. And you may want to have clarity on your direction as you move forward. And this is about making clear choices and decisions and overcoming any health issues, stress, anxiety, depression, trauma. And you're in the right place if you just want balance and freedom and more happiness and joy in your life. So let's jump in. I'll just introduce you to the founder. This is Kachina Mann, and I first met Kachina back in 2004, and I'd just come out of a dysfunctional relationship, and she did a reading for me, and I was considering going back, and then she actually told me that she was just starting to teach the Pellowah. So I was in the first group of 20 students to actually learn Pellowah. And I was already a practitioner doing a lot of different modalities, mainly body work, energy work, and plus I was Reiki was another healing modality that I was doing. And what I noticed after the Pellowah, it just made everything stronger. But when I actually did the Pellowah healing, because luckily the workshop with Kachina, it was only 2 weeks later, and then I did the level 3, became a teacher, and my life just took off like a rocket ship. And then I went to the US, and I was teaching over there, and I was teaching all around Australia, and haven't stopped. So, and I love to share it because I know the benefit that it's had on my life, and that's why I'm really passionate about sharing it with others. A little bit about my background. Grew up in a very dysfunctional family, a lot of abuse, a lot of judgment and criticism, feeling ostracized, wondering where do I belong, feeling, just not really part of the family because I was different. I've always been very spiritual, but I wasn't allowed to talk about my spirituality, especially when I was young, and that really ostracized me from the family. So carrying all this emotional pain, by the time I was 21, I created cancer. And that's when I first met my spiritual teacher at the age of 21. So this was way before I actually met Kachina. And that's what put me on the path of choosing a career in healing and the mind-body connection and the connection of what's happening in the physical body when it comes from the mind. So when I learned the Pellowah, that's where it was like I had a light bulb moment, because I realized that you can't fix the physical body with the mind that created it, but when you shift consciousness, well, then the physical body will take care of itself. So I had a waiting list of clients all coming to me with pain in their body, And I noticed a pattern every time they came, like they'd walk out feeling fantastic, and then the next time they'd recreated that pain. And it was like, okay, we got to go much deeper. And that's where I got more into the somatic and the root cause of what was causing the pain, and really drilling down. And that's what I do more of today, because it's, yeah, go to the root cause, because you can fluff around on the surface and create a very lucrative business, though I'm into results and really just healing it from the root cause and helping empower the person to self-heal, self-regulate, self-balance, and self-correct over time. So that's what in my business, I incorporated the Pellowah Healing, as I was doing individual healings as well as teaching the workshops. And like I said, I took it to the US in 2005 and traveled from the East Coast to the West Coast. I've taught in many different cities. My favorite is Sedona in Arizona. If you've ever been there, it's an amazing place, very high energy, with all these amazing vortexes in the city, and very magical. So I kept studying different modalities, and what I realized with the Pellowah Healing, and it was way before the time, because basically talking about shifting consciousness, expanding awareness, back, nearly 20 years ago, people just thought I was from another planet and I had two heads. And though I knew how powerful this was, so I kept traveling the world and meeting amazing people along the way. This is some, different celebrities I've met. I've studied with many different amazing teachers over the years, and continue to learn from different teachers. So let's just talk about the Pellowah and what is it, because Pellowah, the actual name, is an angelic word for a radical shift in consciousness, and that's exactly what it does. It shifts consciousness, it expands awareness, and it connects all 12 strands of DNA. And it's more of an enlightenment modality than a healing. Yes, it's called Pellowah Healing, but it's more of an enlightenment modality, because after you have shifted consciousness, you actually, it's about really getting clarity on what is the root cause to whatever is happening physically. And so that's, and I'll explain more about that as we go along, because really when you upgrade your consciousness, then the physical body will take care of itself. But being an enlightenment modality, you're actually just upgrading everything on that emotional scale. And if you've ever seen the scale of David Hawkins, it's got 0 to 1,000, and between 700 and 1,000 is consciousness and enlightenment, and love is at 500. So that just gives you a rough indication of the vibration of energy and where we are all heading towards. Because if you can feel love on a daily basis, 24/7, you're halfway there, and that's a good place. But underneath that is where the anger and the fear and the guilt and the shame, all those lower vibration energies are all 200 and below. So what the Pellowah does, it increases your personal capacity for positive change. So therefore, what that does is helps you to really stand in your power, make positive changes for your life, to really tune into what do I want to create and manifest and bring and attract into my life. It's always a positive change what you're bringing in. And because you're really expanding your outlook and perspective, you start to look at the world through different eyes and start to appreciate all the beauty around you. Despite what's happening, you just have this love for life and this appreciation and gratitude, and you really are in charge of your life because you're in alignment with your higher self, with source. It's like a direct dial to source. Whatever you choose to bring in, attract back, there it is. And your imagination is just totally expanded. So when you set your goals, it's like, why am I settling for second best? Why am I setting such very small goals? Because it's like you can have and do and be anything. So why are you limiting yourself? And that comes from our limited mindset. And so when you expand that mindset, expand your awareness, you just opened up this huge big plethora of opportunities. And it's like, oh my God, I was just looking through a little keyhole before. Next minute, the whole door has just opened. And after a healing, you actually feel this lightness within your body. You feel lighter. It's your mind is just so aware and bright and alert, and you just this well-being, and it continues over time. So having a healing is an amazing experience, and it's so simple. So I'll explain how simple it is, because healing is one of those things that a lot of people are talking about today, and there's a lot of people want to compare it to other healing modalities. There's many different healing modalities out there, and I just want to make to differentiate. Pellowah is an enlightenment modality that shifts consciousness. The healing is secondary. So the purpose of the healing is to empower you so that you can take charge of your life and you can make better choices and take control in your life. And like I said, when with manifestating anything you want, but you're standing in your power, and it's like everything always works out for me. What do I truly want? And this is where you really step into your highest potential, into your power. And it's like, no, this is what I want. This is what I've asked for. And I create miracles every day. And believing that and feeling that in every cell of your body, you then actually get to attract and enjoy all the beautiful things that you are bringing into your life. So Pellowah helps you to make those better, clearer decisions in your life. So just imagine that you are walking down a road and you come to a crossroads, and down one road there is a road that you normally go down. It's very comfortable. You travel down this road, you know exactly what's down there, and you've gone and visited all those holes and maybe sat at the bottom of the hole in the pit and went, oh, I won't do that again, and then climbed out, and you learnt from that, and then as you experience through life and go on your journey, it's like, oh, I won't do that behavior or that habit again because that wasn't very nice. So next time I go past there, or next time I'm in that conversation with that person, I will do something different, or I will walk around that hole, or I'll avoid that situation, or whatever it is. It's what Pellowah will help you to do in a nutshell is, you're at a crossroads. Instead of going down that road with all the holes, what you do is going, well, there's a new road and I'm going this way instead. And that is how quickly we can change old habits, old behaviors, old programs, and just go down a new path and make the choice there and then. And that's how we can, change addictions and any old habits that we keep doing. And the more we keep doing them, guess what we're doing is rewiring, and just keep, those neurological networks, that old record playing. So what Pellowah does is helps you to make better choices for your highest good and destiny. Now, like I said, when there's a bunch of different healings out there, and over the years, I've been in this industry for about 30 years, so I've experienced a lot of different healings from different people, and they all seem to have an opinion. They all have a story to tell me, what they saw, what they experienced, or what they picked up in my body. But that's their opinion. The difference with Pellowah is it's 100% pure energy direct from source into your body. It's not filtered through the practitioner. And so what happens is, when it's coming down through the practitioner, so all from source energy down through the practitioner, going through their filters, anything that that's going on in their life, and then out through their hands, well, then it's contaminated energy. And so it's not, I'll tell you a quick story. I had, and this was about 20 years ago, I had this woman tell me that my chromosomes were needed detoxing, and I went, what? Because I was always detoxing. And she went, oh, don't worry, I'll clean it up, and I do this for all my clients as a gift. So therefore she was projecting onto all her clients that everyone had toxic chromosomes, and then she would clean them up, being the martyr, that she is. And I just thought, how interesting. And this is how, anyway, and so this is how, when vulnerable people are actually going to different practitioners and healers, they can take on whatever that person's saying, and it's not necessarily true. So the difference with the Pellowah, it comes direct from source into the person on the table. There's no middleman. It's not filtered. So if you can imagine a big glass cylinder direct from source, and the person on the table, it's like zzz, and it's just scanning over their body. As a practitioner, we just hold the space, and we are just being guided by spirit where to have our hands, where to stand, and we're being directed by the energy. We're not directing the energy. And as a practitioner, we're not judging, we're not diagnosing, we're not making up any stories or trying to do anything. And if the ego comes in, the healing will stop, the energy will stop, and the practitioner will feel it stop straight away. So that's one of the things I love about Pellowah, because it is 100% pure energy, direct from source. And you can't get any purer than that. And so anything that you require for your highest good and destiny, spirit already know. It's like, as a practitioner, get the ego out of the way and let spirit do what they need to do. Because some people may come in with a shopping list of things. Well, spirit know exactly what's priority, and it's not up to you as a practitioner to go, oh yeah, you've gone through a lot of trauma, or yes, you know, you need to detox, or whatever it is, because again, that's a judgment and a projection, right? And spirit know exactly what's priority. So get out of the way and allow it to happen. It is so simple but powerful. So like I said, Pellowah is an angelic word for a radical shift in consciousness. Now, it also connects all 12 strands of DNA ready for activation. And doing this process, it actually unblocks and realigns all the meridians within the body, and also works on the chakras. And that we do go through a bit of information and a rebalance on the chakras in the workshop, and I'll get to that a bit later. And it also can be used in absent healing, distant healing. Like I do healings from anywhere around the world. It doesn't matter. You just organize the time for the other person to lay down in a quiet place, undisturbed, with their phone off, you know, put a little eye mask on, pull the shades so the bedroom's nice and quiet, and just lay down for an hour and receive the healing. And also pets and plants, it's fantastic. Now, obviously, you don't need to do 1 hour on pets or plants, but maybe just, 5 minutes, and it will definitely make a difference for, your pet, either your pets or your plants. So, and animals are so receptive. I actually had a butcher bird fly into my place and sit on the kitchen counter, and I realized he had a broken foot because he couldn't put his foot down. And so I actually did about it was only about 5 minutes of the Pellowah healing on him, and he just sat there on my kitchen bench the whole time, and then he flew away. So again, birds are amazing. Any animal is amazing, and they know exactly what you're doing. Now, another benefit of the Pellowah is other forms of healing may result in cathartic traumatic breakdowns. That's not the case with Pellowah. And the growth that you experience, it just builds on positive frameworks without the trauma. You don't need to go through a traumatic breakdown in order to have a breakthrough. And so Pellowah is all about moving forward in a positive direction. So there's no big cathartic meltdowns and being in depression for, days or weeks on end. It's always about moving forward in a positive direction. So let's talk about the DNA. So as you know, scientists basically said that humans only have two strands of DNA. And that's what human beings have been operating on all these centuries. But it's not true, because we actually have 12 strands of DNA, and each strand of the DNA stores our knowledge. This is our wisdom. And as we evolve and learn and connect and activate these strands, we access our far hidden knowledge. So as a result, we do things, we see our whole life just change. And if you've ever seen the movie Lucy, this explains it beautifully. When we actually expand our awareness, shift our consciousness, we open up to so many possibilities, so many opportunities, and everything just happens so fast. It's fast and furious, and it's immediate. It's our conscious mind or our mindset that limits us. And basically humans are less than 10% conscious. Dolphins and whales are 20%. So they're more conscious than the average human being. So imagine that it's like a huge house, right? You've got 12 rooms, but when the construction was going on, only 2 of the rooms were wired up with electricity. And so that's what humans have been operating on. And then over time, you find you have outgrown the 2 rooms, and that's where everyone is at the moment. Everyone on the planet, especially in the last 2 years, are waking up, and it's like, hang on, I've outgrown these 2 rooms. There is more out there. There's a whole multi-universe out there, and there's new dimensions, and there's more. I mean, we're unlimited beings. So but we've been operating in this dumbed down state. So what we do with the Pellowah is we wire up, we bring in the electricians, and we wire up all 12 rooms. And this is the 12 strands of DNA. And so once the rooms are connected to the electricity, it's up to you to find a way to switch on the lights to show you what's in each room. And that's where it's an exciting process. Like, I know when I first did my training, and it was like, whoa, because I was just on a roller coaster, and everything just kept opening up more and more, and it just keeps activating and activating. So you're on a rocket ship. It's fast and furious. So there's lots of ways of, waking up, Pellowah being one of them, because, it's about, we're all moving towards ascension. We're all on this spiritual path, because that's why we chose to come here on the planet. And so as you are switching on those light switches, you'll have access to everything in the rooms, as well as opening up to much more around you in your life, and just keep creating new and wonderful new opportunities. So, and also one of the other benefits is you become less involved in other people's lives, all the drama and the reality TV shows and just all the chaos. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're just less involved in it. Whereas some people love to be involved with all the drama. So your whole perspective on life changes. And like we spoke about earlier, you make better choices, better decisions. You know exactly where you're going in your life. You just have this clear direction and clarity, and just more objective. So And then you keep moving forward in a positive direction, and it actually gets stronger over time. So most healings or different treatments, you know, you might feel it a couple of days, but Pellowah provides a feeling of well-being that lasts, and it gets stronger as the days go on. So because it's happening inside of you, it's working on every cell in your body, it's working on your DNA, and the energy changes you to the new you, and your new you becomes normal. So the Pellowah activates you, so you generate and just create the light within. So an example of this, one of my students up in Townsville, I was traveling to all the regional cities in Australia, and I was going to Townsville quite often, and after you've done the workshop, you can then book in for another attunement whenever, you know, whenever I'm available. And so this particular student, she did the workshop, and I saw her a month or two later, and the guy who owned the actual venue just said, wow, this lady has changed so much. And I said, well, what way? Because he knew her before. He knew her from years before. And he said, wow, he said, every time she'd come to a workshop, she wouldn't talk to anyone. She just leave straight after the workshop, and she definitely wouldn't hug anyone. But now she was chatting and dancing around and having a great time and hugging everyone and just so happy. And I said to her, have you noticed that you have changed in the last couple of months, and do you feel happier? And she went, oh yeah. She said, because it's so subtle. She said she didn't really notice it. And she went, yeah, you know, she was just getting on with her life and just feeling so good. And she'd never traveled. She lived way out near, you know, out west. On a property in a very small town. And so she started traveling and exploring Australia, and then booked a trip to Egypt, and just having a fantastic, you know, adventurous life. So let's talk about the healing. So during the healing, there's no music, there's no noise, there's no burning of different, you know, incense or aromatherapy oils, because you don't want to give the person on the table any distractions. You want them to experience 100% pure healing, which is not, you know, giving the conscious mind, you know, oh, that's a nice smell, or I wonder what music that is. So eliminate all of that, and also no talking during the healing once you've started. I like to put, you know, an eye mask over someone's eyes just to block out, you know, any distractions for them, and just have them close their eyes. And then they just receive a 100% pure healing direct from source. So I'm going to demonstrate a healing a little bit in a while, and you'll just see how simple it is. There's just no touching, no talking, no music, and I will be doing a distant healing. Okay. So I'll just show you how simple it is. I do my healings for only $100, and anyone who wants to book an individual healing can actually just go to my website and choose a time and book that. So individual healing is a wonderful experience, and it's a really good way of just experience the energy. And so tonight what I'll be doing is doing just a quick 10-minute demo. So in regards to the energy, and I said this before, I don't direct the energy, I'm directed by the energy, because it comes direct from source, and an actual individual healing usually lasts between 45 minutes and an hour. I always tell people to, lay on the table for at least an hour before they get up. And like we said, earlier, no judgment. If the ego comes in, the energy will stop. And it's really important to drink lots of water, because we are, working on the DNA. We're working on every cell in the body. We're also realigning the meridians and the chakras in the body. It's so important to drink lots of water for the practitioner as well as the person receiving. And that's the same in the workshop as well, because during the workshop, it is a very high energy weekend, because you're giving a healing as well as receiving a healing, as well as receiving an attunement. So, and I'll explain about the difference between an attunement and a healing. So a couple of testimonies from different people over the years. Like, I've been teaching this since 2004, so 18 years. So I've collected many different testimonies and success stories from different people, and it's always been, amazing results, and illnesses and tumors gone, and I mean, just so many wonderful results. So let me before I go on, Mark, would you like to share your experience, what you experienced since you're on the call, how you felt when you received the attunements in the workshop, and then also what you experience when giving a healing to other people? Would you like to share?
Yeah, sure. When I done the Pellowah Healing course, it was a 2-day weekend, and what I experienced was a dull ringing in the ears or in the head, and you could feel the energy around your body. You could feel it moving through your body into different areas of your body, and you did feel an enlightenment, I suppose you call it, to source. There was a lot more, it was a very peaceful sort of healing. It gives you, good rest, it gives you energy, and it makes you feel a lot more alive than what you were in the first place or before you started.
And what have you noticed since the workshop in yourself?
My vision, the first night I went to bed, it was just normal vision. And then I woke up the next morning and I could read my phone and I didn't have to use glasses. So that was one of the things that I experienced. Better sleep that night. And yeah, and just lighter on my feet. Yeah, a lot more energy. Good. A lot more peace. Yeah.
And have you given healings to other people since you
Yes,
learned it?
I have. Yep. I've had a client that had a issue with her left knee. I'd given her Pellowah Healing, not knowing that it was going to go to that, but it had done work on her left knee, and it had done a lot of other realignment of energies inside of her. And she also had a sciatica nerve in the right leg, which relieved her of that pain as well. So that was both in person and distant Pellowah healings. I've also had another client that had a baby that had decided it needed to get out early at about 25 weeks while it was still in the womb, and broke water. With the in-person and distant healing, doing Pellowah healing, managed to realign a body and have it a lot better, what would you call it, a lot better environment for the baby to be in and to grow. So both mother and baby that were then settled and put back into alignment so they could continue.
So she held the baby?
She was still, yeah, she still held the baby, and continued to hold the baby right up until 34 weeks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great outcome. She was a little bit stressed after, while this was all happening, and with the realignment with the Pellowah healing, she had calmed down. She was given love, I suppose you would call it. She was recognized that she was loved, wanted and needed. And yeah, she became a lot calmer. That brought the baby's blood pressure and heartbeat down, and they both settled down and continued on a lot better. She also had a discharge a couple of weeks later after this amount, and I've done another distant healing, Pellowah healing, and that managed to all clear up, and the doctors were that happy with her progress. They sent her for.
Oh, you just cut out. You just cut out, Mark. Can anyone else hear Mark? Or is it just me?
No, I can't hear him. He's gone. He's frozen on my screen.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait for him to come back, and hopefully he can finish his testimony. So so what I'll do in the meantime is just explain about the difference between yeah, it looks like he's just dropped out.
Yeah.
Having a full healing is an amazing experience, though an attunement is 10 times stronger than an actual healing, and it actually takes less time. So a healing, you need an hour on the table, whereas an attunement is about 5 minutes. So what I'll do is just explain more about the actual workshop, because it's in the workshop that you receive the attunement. And so if you're here on the earth at this time, then you're here to fulfill a mission, but on a much higher level. And every being on this earth decided that they wanted to be here on the planet at this particular time. And look what we're experiencing at this time. We've just gone through a pandemic and, 2 years, and coming out of that. And as a human race, we are stronger. We are just amazing, resilient beings. And so what the Pellowah does is, this is what we've been preparing for, and we actually are here on the planet at this time to contribute to the universe and our own evolution. And for some of us, it's taken many, many lifetimes. So I know that my lifetimes go all the way back to Atlantis. You know, I'm a very old soul. So I've been in training for many, many years. And that's why I'm doing the work. You know, I'm so passionate about sharing this. I'm just living my purpose and sharing what I came here to share in this lifetime, and sharing the Pellowah because it is an enlightenment modality to help humanity, especially at this time. This is a tool that will help accelerate that process. And so we do cover the chakras, though it's not a chakra, you know, we don't go into deep diving into it because it's not a chakra workshop, but we do a chakra meditation on the first day, and then we cover it more on the second day. And we also cover about the Merkaba, or some people pronounce it the Merkaba. So it's the same thing. And what it is, the Merkaba is a formal name for our light body. And so we cover that on day 2 in the workshop as well. And a couple of more testimonies. So yeah, everyone who's given me different testimonies, it's always a positive outcome. And if you ever, if you know Marcy Shermoff, she is the one of the speakers in The Secret, the movie The Secret that came out in around 2004, 2005. And so when I was living in California, and I met her and I gave her a healing, so she shared a testimony. Now, Mark, I think you're back. Would you like to continue your testimony? And are you there, Mark?
Yep, sure. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Where did she get up to?
Where did we leave you at?
So I think it froze after you were explaining about your client who just had the she
Her
had
mum and bub.
baby, and
Yep.
and the doctors were amazed at her progress and her healing ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it froze.
Yeah. So the doctors were so amazed by the results and the growth of the baby inside that both mum and the baby were sent back to the hospital from RBWH in Brisbane to Harvey Bay Hospital, where they continued to stay and went home for a while from there. And then when she had a couple of contractions, she went back to the hospital, and then they flew her back down to RBWH again, and then decided to that she was going to give birth. So about a week later, she finally started contractions, and they had the little baby at 34 weeks. So the little Barbara's is continuing to improve, even though he was at 34 weeks, and he's just about off the oxygen now. He's at about 37 weeks. And and yeah, he's just about off all the oxygen. So he was due to be born in another 3 weeks' time. So for a little baby that's putting on weight and everything's working, and yeah, all the organs are fine. I think that was a great result.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Well done.
thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
No
So
worries.
let's just talk very briefly. I'm not going to go into too much detail about, you know, the workshop per se. If you have questions about the difference between level 1 and level 2, basically in level 1, you get an attunement that allows you to give a healing. So on the actual day, you give and receive a healing on each other, as well as receive the attunement. Then level 2 is 10 times stronger than level 1 attunement. And that enables you to connect with the higher being that you were when you first made the decision to be here on the planet at this time. So this is just such an amazing, powerful, strong connection, because when you have the level 2 attunement, which is at the end of the day after you've had a healing, an individual healing, and then that last attunement, and you lock that in, and when you open your eyes, your eyes are different and you look different. So with this connection, you'll be able to bring the energy of consciousness of your higher being into everyday life, so that you can complete your original goal of why you came here to the planet at this time. So in level 2, yes, you learn different symbols, and yeah, it's all about energy. But these symbols, very quickly, they just look like squiggly lines on paper. Unless you're attuned, they don't mean anything. But these are tools that you can use to continue accelerating your personal and spiritual growth. And there's 7 symbols that you learn on the day. And like I said before, it's a healing technique, but it's more of a tool for enlightenment. And the healing capabilities are a byproduct of shifting consciousness. So that is why when, you know, all the body work and I was doing on people, it was like, wow, I need to get out there in the world and help people to shift consciousness, because then the physical body will just take care of itself. And that's what we all can do, is just heal our own bodies, though it's understanding what's the cause, and really changing those old programs and rewiring our conscious human operating system, our brain. So there is 3 levels. I teach level 1 and 2, and so level 1 is 10 times stronger than an individual healing on the table. Level 2 is 10 times stronger than level 1, which means it's like 100 healings. And then level 3 is 10 times more powerful than level 2. So that's like having 1,000 healings, a transfer of energy all at once. And so when you receive an attunement, your whole consciousness lifts up to another level. And when I give an attunement, my consciousness also expands. So that's where I'm bringing it through for the student, but I'm also receiving some of it, which is different to giving an actual healing. During a healing, you don't receive any of it at all. So let's talk about the upcoming workshop. Now, this is the last workshop for 2022. that I'll be teaching, and level 1 and level 2 is happening August the 13th and 14th. It's all day. And like I said, it is a high energy workshop. It is 2 days where massive growth, massive expansion, and you feel the energy really strongly. I remember when I was teaching in Salt Lake City, and one of the ladies was so super sensitive to the energy when we were learning the symbols. She had to keep walking outside, standing on the grass to ground before she could draw the next symbol. So that's just how powerful, and depending, you know, everyone's at different levels of consciousness, and some people are very highly sensitive. So just drawing those symbols is just shifting you. So it is a massive weekend. And so there is an early bird that is coming up. The deadline on that is July the 13th, where you can get both days for only $333 per level. So that's per day, per level, and otherwise each day is $400, and that includes GST. And then after July 13th, it goes up to $380, and then after the 31st, it's $400. So you can book that via my website, lindabenn.com, under the services Pellowah Healing Training, or you can send me a private message. And if you want to do an EFT transfer instead of using a credit card, that's another option. Just send me a message or an email at linda@lindabenn.com, and we can work out a, you know, whatever payment plan you want to be, or if you just want to do a direct deposit, direct payment, we can do that. So there's lots of different options. Just let me know what works for you, and I look forward to sharing this workshop with you in August. And so thank you for joining me. This is pretty much what I do when I'm giving a healing. It's no touching. So, and what I'm going to do now is a demonstration for someone, and who would like to receive a 10-minute healing. Put up your hand, and I'll just stop the share of the presentation. And so Beth, you've got your hand up.
Yes.
Okay. So what we might do is I'm going to be standing, and Kelly, I know you also wanted one. Maybe ask Mark if he would like to do a quick little demo, since he's a student.
At the moment, I can't see either of you, let alone myself. So I don't know what happened after you finish recording. Let's not record. So it's still record?
I'm recording, but okay, Beth. So if you'd like to just stay seated, and you can close your eyes. Now, there's not a lot to see. So what I will be doing is basically calling in the energy and then just moving around your body. Okay.
Okay.
And if you'd like to mute, if everyone can mute, and
me as well. You want me to mute?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, you can just close your eyes and then allow yourself to receive. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. We might finish up there for you, Beth. Just take your time coming back. That was about 9 minutes. And Kelly, Mark was doing a healing, a distant healing on you. So, ladies, would you like to share what you felt, what you experienced in that short little snippet?
Well, I at first I think I could feel energy here, and it kind of gradually came over my head. Oh, I'm a little bit lightheaded.
Have you drunk water?
I have had some.
Yeah,
Right.
you need more. Yeah. Lots of water. And yeah, keep sipping on water.
Okay.
Mm.
I don't know what else I felt. I'm not sure.
So you felt the energy moving
I can feel,
through your body.
yeah, yeah, could feel the energy on my head and stuff. My eyes feel funny. I'm going to go out driving after this. Maybe I should wait.
Yes, make sure you're grounded, drink lots of water. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Kelly, how'd you go? Could you
Yeah, I could feel the energy. I could hear the ringing.
your ears?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just around my head area as well, I suppose. Yeah.
Awesome.
I actually had some ringing earlier on, just after Mark mentioned ringing. I think I then, whether that's just my mind, I don't know. Before it was actually.
Yeah, that'd be the energy. That's what that's the main thing that I notice, is the ringing in the ears. So yeah, and that's when you know that you're receiving it, or you've got it going in front of me. Like when I'm the practitioner, then I'm the one that's giving the Pellowah healing. I notice that the ringing is in my ears too, because the energy is all around you. Yeah, so as you're shaping the energy or just directing the energy into your client, I do get the ringing of the ears, but as being the client, I've had ringing in the ears, just having the Pellowah healing enlightenment, and also having attunement.
Have you ever experienced tinnitus at all?
Tinnitus, yeah, I thought it was tinnitus because I was always around a heap of machinery that was really loud, bandsaws and stuff like that. But then I learnt the truth of what the tinnitus was. And yeah, and as soon as you listen to what is trying, like the message that is being given to you, or the warning that is being given to you, and you figure it out, it goes away. So yeah, it's a whole new world of looking at things.
Awesome.
Awesome. And anything else you'd like to share, Callie or Beth?
I think I did feel so. I can't quite remember, but I think I did feel something through here at one point. Don't know.
Solar plexus area, or heart?
Yeah, solar plexus. Yeah.
Awesome. So when someone's on the actual table, it doesn't matter where the practitioner is standing. There's an access point into your body, and so that is just say I was standing at your feet doesn't mean there's something wrong with your feet. That's just the access point for the energy to travel and move through your body. Or sometimes it's like you just surrender and being directed by the energy, and they are guiding you, spirit's guiding you where to stand, where to start. You know, it could be head, it could be the middle, it could be down by the feet. It doesn't matter. It's different every time, and every single healing is different every time. And when you've had a healing, the next time you have your next healing, it just picks up from the last one, from wherever you left off, and it continues, and the healing just continues through your body. So again, you just keep building on those positive upgrades in your
So do you feel anything?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
do you get any messages or anything, or?
No, because it's non-personality based.
Yeah.
So I'm just following and being directed by the energy. So spirit is just telling me where to stand, where to have my hands. So your hands could be, you know, like this, whatever, here, back. And I know I've done healings on people where they needed lots of space. And so I was like backed up in the corner of the room, and it was like that's where I started the healing, because they needed lots of personal space around them. And I got that message, just like back up, you're too close. So I thought, whoa, okay. And just, I was out in the corner, and then eventually I could come closer. But there's never any touching. If you touch the person on the table, it will feel like an electric shock. So that's where, you know, don't get too close to the table, because you don't want to be accidentally knocking them or touching them. I know I was doing a healing on a woman when I lived in the US, and she said, I thought you were playing with my hair, because, you know, I could feel like someone playing with my hair and my head. And she said, and then when the hand went down inside my head and doing, you know, something, she said, I realized it wasn't you. And I went, yeah, I did not touch you at all. But I've had a lot of people going, oh, you know, you touched me. And it's like, no, it wasn't me. Wasn't me. So everyone feels different things from every experience, and it changes every time. Yeah. Sometimes you might sleep through the whole thing. Other times, you know, there's lots of uncontrollable movements on the table. Other times, you know, it's like this woman felt, you know, something, actually psychic surgery happening inside of her brain. I've had one lady where her feet, it was like she was just dancing, you know, just moving like constant. Her feet just were like tap dancing. She had no idea that her feet were even moving.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't even aware of it. Yeah. And then other people, you know, are snoring their head off, and they deny sleeping, or they deny, you know, even being asleep. So yeah, it's different for everybody, and so it's very powerful.
Cool, thank you.
So you are welcome. Any other questions? So if you've got any questions, please email me or call me or message me. And like I said, the next workshop is August the 13th and 14th. And that's here in Brisbane, Australia. And I'm excited to share this with you.
And it's in person?
Absolutely, yes. Because you actually receive the attunements, and I physically need to give you the attunements. So, yeah, It has to be in person. But the actual healing you can do by distance. But the actual workshop, it's always in person, and it's 2 days, both days. All day Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big energy weekend, big energy upgrade, and you just walk away and you see life through different eyes. After that last attunement, when you open your eyes are different. It is. It's amazing. And just connecting to your higher self is just such an amazing experience. Yeah.
If you just did like, is it worthwhile just doing one level, or would you really recommend doing the 2 levels?
I've had that over the years where people go, oh, you know, I'll just put my toe in and I'll just do level 1, and then after level 1 it's like, oh no, I want more, you know, because they've just received so much. It's like, why limit and stop yourself, you know, only doing 1. It's like, no, I'm doing the second day, and because it just keeps building and building. So and it's like level 2 attunement is 10 times stronger than level 1, so it's like 100 healings on the table. So that's where it's like, you know, you just keep building. And then also level 2, it's level 2 day is more about your personal and spiritual growth, and you learn the symbols just for you, nobody else. It's just for you. And plus all the other exercises that we do as well. And then connecting with your higher self, doing your personal Merkaba, the chakras. It's a big day. Very powerful day.
Cool.
Yeah. And any questions, Maren, Kelly?
No, I think because I sat in on the last one and I asked all of my questions then. I think the question that I did bring up last time, and I know the answer to this, but maybe the other two are wondering as to how the attunement is done as such. And you said just by touching certain parts of my body, like head or hands or whatever, that is, and it's delivered in that particular.
So
method.
so the level 2 attunement is I put my hands on both sides of your head, and then I move my hands, one in front of your third eye, one at the back of your head, and there's a lot of energy that's being channeled through with those 2 movements. And then after it's complete, I just tap you on the shoulder. So that's the touching one. The level 1 attunement is really no touching until I just tap you on the hand saying it's done, it's finished. So because I'm attuning your actual hands so that you can give a healing. And you notice the difference if you have, you know, learned different healing modalities. You once you've received the attunement in your hands, you notice the difference in your hands as soon as you go to give a Pellowah healing. Yeah.
Does the client have to believe in the Pellowah healing to receive one?
No, not at all. But the fact that they are on the table and giving themselves permission to receive on some level, they're
open.
They're open. They do believe it.
and they, you know, because it's the ego mind going, oh no, yeah, no.
Mm.
But on some level, and that's where I have I'll just tell you a quick story about a little girl that I did a healing on. She had epilepsy at the time. Her mother had taken her to every practitioner around Brisbane to fix her daughter from epilepsy. Anyway, so she calls me and says, you know, this is my daughter's problem. Can you do a healing on her? And I said, well, with children, it's better to do them when they go to bed at night. So what time does she go to bed? And I'll do the healing then. So when I went to start the healing, because when I'm doing a distant healing, I have to ask their soul for permission. Anyway, her soul went, no way, you know, and she just threw this tantrum. And it was like, okay, I totally respect that. So the next day I called the mother and she said, oh, how'd it go? And I said, I couldn't do the healing. Did you actually ask your daughter? Because it's like, you know, and get permission. She went, oh, no, I forgot. And I said, you need to ask her, because when I asked her soul, she just was, nah. Don't, you know, do that. Anyway, so then the mother asked the daughter and she did agree. So I redid it another night and then checked in with the mother about a week later. And the mother, you know, I said, how's your daughter? What have you noticed? And she went, oh my God, all the teachers are just raving about, you know, her behavior has improved. She's more engaged at school. There was no epilepsy. She was just, her whole persona, everything had changed. And I went, oh, that's fantastic. And the mother says, oh, yeah, but I don't know if it was the Pellowah, because, you know, she's taking this supplement and taking this herb or whatever. It's like, so it was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, in 1 week, there was such a drastic change in her daughter. And but yeah, if you're giving a distant healing to someone in a coma or someone who's about to pass over, they can, you know, you ask their soul, and most of the time their soul goes, yes, you know, I will definitely, I'd love to receive, especially, you know, through their transition, leaving the planet, because they may receive some downloads before they transition over. So anyway, I know it's late, so thank you for joining me tonight. Any questions, just let me know, and so you can email, private message, text, call, you know where I am. And thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you and talking to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,